What is your take when it comes to the credit sweep situation?
Okay, so being fully transparent, when I started credit repair, I understood it. But I still have strategy behind the sweeps, okay? I think that if you're going to do a credit sweep, you have to work with somebody who understands credit repair and who understands strategy. Because if a person is just marketing a sweep, when they're sweeping your account, they're sweeping your good accounts that is actually helping your credit report too. They're sweeping accounts that is open, that again, that is reporting, that, builder accounts that's actually helping your credit. So I think sometimes when people hear the credit sweeps, they don't understand it. It doesn't mean go and clean somebody's profile. You have to be very strategic on the accounts that you pick to dispute with the sweeps. But I talked about this earlier today. Anybody that's participating in a sweep is already attesting to either you are a victim of identity theft, data breach, or human trafficking. Now, where have you been trafficked?
I got stuck in traffic, but I ain't never been trafficked.
Where have you been trafficked?
Right.
I'm like, and that's another thing too. When people are agreeing to these sweeps, they have no idea to what they are attesting.
Right.
So when they're getting these different stall letters or these letters from different companies, they're like, identity theft? Yeah, you said you wanted the sweep. So I feel like I'm all about strategy. I think there's a good way to use the sweeps. I think there's a bad way to use the sweeps. But for anybody that's sweeping, again, you got to get with somebody who understands what account strategically needs to be included. I think the safest thing to do is use data breach. Okay. Because what people don't know is even when you start sweeping these accounts, yes, by law, they have to come off in 4 business days. But according to the creditor, the debt is still on their books. And once that new reporting cycle comes around, that account is going to be reinserted back onto that profile. So yeah, you sweeped it, it came off, but it's coming back. So certain accounts need to be included in the sweep, and then certain accounts need to be strategically disputed.
Right now we're recording this in 2025. Let's say 2025, 2026. Switching gears over to CFPB complaints, because when I first came into the space, that was a very popular thing. Is that still something that actively moves the needle when it comes to getting them removed?
Absolutely. I call CFPB the big boys.
Talk to me about
those
that.
Are the big boys. But so CFPB are the big boys that actually enforce your consumer law, okay? But you got to know what you're talking about. Also, outside of the CFPB, you have to know different agencies. And so remember what I said earlier, credit repair literally is only 3 things: complaints, compliance, and consumer law. All of your creditors have to stay compliant. And when they are out of compliance, there is an agency that they have to report to. So CFPB is definitely the big boys, but there are other agencies that require your creditors to stay in compliance. So when they start misreporting to your credit report, you go to their big boys. So CFPB definitely still works, but you definitely have to add some more strategy behind that to get more movement when it comes to disputes.
Talking about like different accounts that make up a report, where do you stand? Have you ever had a client come to you in regards to student loans? Because with student loan accounts, it's kind of a double-edged sword in that they're helpful with credit mix, they're helpful when it comes to length of credit history, things of that sort. But then for most people, they want to get it off from the DTI standpoint. Like they have the credit.
Home buyers.
Talk a little bit about your experience and just your overall take when it comes to dealing with student loans and the good and the bad that comes with them.
I think first and foremost, people have to understand exactly what type of student loans they have. All right. I think there's so much information floating around the internet where 2 things could be true at once. Okay. So you will see somewhere where they have, they're showing proof that the student loan has been removed. But was it a private student loan? Because a private student loan is actually just like a regular creditor, right? Then you have these federal student loans, and there's no statute of limitations on them basically attempting to collect the debt. So when people keep saying, oh, I can get your student loans removed, no, you can't. Are they federal or are they private? You have to understand what type of student loan that you have, right? I think, again, student loans can be helpful to the profile. Like you said, the length of history. But it's a lot of these home buyers are in a frenzy because that DTI is affecting them when it's on that loan. But I think more than anything, you have to understand what type of student loan that you have, what programs you qualify for, because there are programs that has actually been helping, assisting people with getting those loans permanently dissolved.
Okay.
But, if it's a federal loan, stop thinking that you're disputing it and it's coming off. There's no statute of limitations. Even if it does come off because they have misreported, it's going to be reinserted right back onto the profile. Private student loans are something that can be removed, and they are different programs that people qualify for to get those removed as well.
What is your stance when it comes to, because another thing we hear when it comes to just strategy around cleaning our credit is the personal information section. So you have people that talk about, you have multiple names, multiple addresses, and some of these things may or may not be linked to some accounts that you may have been struggling to get off. Is there any truth to that?
Absolutely. I think something else that people don't know too, Experian has identifiers.
Explain that.
So when it comes to your Experian report, you have a different number, not a different number that's not an account number, that literally is like a sub number that connects you to accounts, addresses, employers, and that identifier. So when you're disputing that account, if you don't figure out what that identifier is, you're literally just, and I call it just disputing blindly. You don't know what you're disputing. So there definitely is some truth to that. Specifically with Experian, you have to find your identifier. And once you locate that identifier, then you start tackling those particular addresses, names, employers. Get that deleted first prior to disputing the account.
One of the other things that you talk about quite a bit in your content, we talked about collections, CFPB, and beyond, are any of the strategies that we just talked about just now effective when it comes to dealing with charge-offs? Because charge-offs are a bit of a different ball game than collections. Collections is like, hey, the money's still out there, we come before. Charge-offs is like, we not even, boy, you owe us this $3,000. We ain't finna waste our time. We just go and get on with it. But it's still on our report, right? So what are some of the different things that you could recommend when it comes to dealing with those?
So it goes back to understanding how to read your report. Okay. Always look in your remarks section. Your remarks section is going to tell you a lot. Whether it says profit loss, you want to know if the IRS, if your creditor has already filed this debt with the IRS, if they've already got a tax cut. You want to know that, right? And you want to strategically figure out, okay, has enough time passed to where this debt has been filed on their taxes? Is this creditor just simply reporting this account charge off every month? Has this creditor transferred this debt, but still is reporting the charge off on my credit report? So your remarks section is going to tell you a lot on how you have to start building your strategy in regards to removing that charge off.
Hey, I hope you enjoyed that clip. Real quick before you go, if you're a business owner who knows that your credit or your business structure is standing between you and the funding you need, I want to invite you to Take Off University. It's a community we've created where we teach you how to structure your credit, how to structure your business the right way, and how to access business capital on strong terms. We've created funding roadmaps to help dictate your path to success, and a community of other business owners who are going to be working side by side with you, all towards the same goal. Now, if that sounds like where you are right now, and more importantly, where you're headed towards, there's going to be a link in the description below where you can click it, learn more, and come join us. We'll see you on the other side of success. And until next time, family, peace.